In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about setting boundaries. I talked about this topic recently on my TikTok and it was a great conversation. We had a good time. I actually ran over my time, so I thought that I would bring it to my YouTube as well. We have to be okay with setting boundaries in our lives with everyone and with everything. You have to set boundaries with your spending. You have to set boundaries with people that are in your life because me personally, for me, without having boundaries, there were so many things that I would start, but I would not be able to complete because I would be burned out from helping everybody else. And many times you get burned out because you've overexerted yourself doing everything for everybody else, that when it's time for you, like when I get to it tomorrow, I get to it next week, I get to it next month, and then you look up and realize nothing is happening. You have not completed anything that you started. And for me, um one of the instances was when I started strengthening my relationship with Christ. I had to go through a period of isolation, and during that time, I knew that I had to give them a warning, the people in my life, the people the closest to me, because I needed them to understand where I was and what I was going through. So before I started on the fast, I sent out a text message and I let them know, hey, I'm not going to be as available for the next month or so. There's some things that I need to I need to focus on, and that I'm trying to work on and get completed. And I may not be able to answer the phone. I may call here and there, but send me a text message. I'm also always the one to fix things or try to give solutions to everybody. For that period of time, I can't be the answer. I cannot be your first call. Your first call needs to be to God. Because when you bring issues and complaints and problems to me, that's what I do. I go and pray. Let's skip the middleman and you go directly to God in prayer and let Him communicate with you. Because at this moment, I just can't be. You have to take me out of the equation. And it may have been difficult for them because I'm always that person. I noticed that whenever they needed to vent, they would call me. And depending on the situation, it would either make me anxious or sometimes it would upset me. And now I'm mad and upset about something that had absolutely nothing to do with me. And when I'm upset or I'm going through things, I can't be creative. My mind will not allow me to be creative because now I'm stuck in a funk. I can't focus and concentrate on reading my word because I'm so busy thinking about your problem. So during that time, I had to set healthy boundaries and say, hey, don't call me, call God. My phone is going to be in do not disturb from this point to this point. I'm not available. Send me a text message. When I'm available, I'll take a look at it. If it's not an emergency, you should not be calling me anyway. I live states away. Even if it is an emergency, I'm states away. What can I do? Nothing. Call on God. Utilize each other, but take me out of the equation just for a while. And during that time, I was able to really just focus in and spend intentional time with God every day. There was nothing that was stopping me from just being in my word, sitting in my word, sitting there meditating, sitting there journaling. Nothing was taking me out of that headspace. I also was able to get a certification complete because now I don't have to focus on doing for everybody else. I can literally just focus on doing what it is that I'm supposed to be doing right now. I was able to get so much clarity during that time. I had so much peace during that time. I was actually being able to rest at night because a lot of times we can't rest because we're thinking about other people's problems and what we got to do for them and when we're going to try to get to ours. When will I be able to squeeze me in? When am I be able to squeeze me in my life? That's a problem. And I was able to sit back and pay attention to everything because as I was deepening my relationship with Christ, He was starting to reveal things to me. And as He was revealing these things from my past, I was able to actually deal with it. And He helped me process a lot of the trauma that I had. I was able to see it as trauma because I thought that some of the stuff was normal. So being still and being able to just focus my attention on what it was that he had called me to do and to just meditate on his word, I noticed that these things were trauma. And these are things that I needed to overcome, because a lot of time my responses were trauma responses. I had to get in a place in this period of isolation to where I knew that I could no longer fight in the physical sense or in the verbal sense. I had to learn to fight in the spirit. And me being able to take things to God and pray about it, and him providing me with the tools that I needed to navigate that time, it just gave me so much clarity, so much peace. And I no longer had those traumas. So I didn't have to depend on some of those old vices that I had previously anymore, because I worked through the trauma. And had I not set those boundaries, I would not have had that time for myself. And I want people to understand that it is okay to have healthy boundaries in your life. Also, we also have to think about when we forgive someone. Just because you forgive a person does not mean that you have to allow them back into your life. Ask God about it. He will reveal to you, like, no, you did your part. I just wanted you to forgive them. I no longer wanted you to carry that hurt that they did along with you, because it was preventing you from getting to where I need you to go. But you still have to remember what they did during that time. And is this somebody, would it be beneficial to me or them to have them present in my life? And a lot of times it's not. Just because you have forgiven them does not mean that you have to give them full access to you. Because just like you giving them full access, there's a possibility that they can hurt you again. And we're not holding on to, rather they're going to hurt us or what's going to come of this. Take that worry out. You do not have to allow them back in. You've forgiven them. Be cordial with them, because sometimes it's family. And listen, you've forgiven them. But if they were constantly hurting you because of the things that they were saying or the things that they were doing, you have to protect your heart, protect your feelings. Because a lot of times when people are coming to you and asking you of things and doing certain things, they're not thinking about you. They are not thinking about how you feel. Think about how many people call your phone and the first thing they say, what you doing? I'm one of the first people, I will shut you down, especially if it's someone that I have not talked to in a long time. Don't call me and ask me what I'm doing. Do not call me asking me my business. Start the conversation by saying, how are you? How are you? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, either you're trying to find out my business or it's something that you want me to do for you. Because I have been that person that even when I tell you no, I'm probably still going to figure out a way to get it done, because that's just who I am. And people know, call Jazz, Jazz, I'm going to do it. I had to stop being that first call for so many people. I had to change up things. Stop calling me and asking me what I'm doing. I'm busy. Or you're calling me to vent to me about your problem, and you don't even know if I have the mental capacity to even deal with that today. You don't know what type of day I've had, and you don't care. So many people do not care because they didn't ask. How are you? How are you feeling? How has life been going? They've asked not, what you doing? Where you been? What's been going on with you? It's okay to set healthy boundaries in your life. And with those people, set healthy boundaries. Set limitations and let them know, hey, you have to teach people how to treat you. Because if you do not, they will run over you. They will take the best parts of you away. They will they will transform you and change you. And like I said, sometimes they would call to me and vent their problems to me, and now I'm sitting up mad about something that ain't got absolutely nothing to do with me. I can't do nothing about it. So now I'm just stuck. I can't focus on my word because that's on my mind. I'm up. I can't rest. I can't focus on doing anything else because that's on my mind. And I actually had to also during this time, I started finding stress relievers. I love to sit down and make jewelry. So I was able to make time to actually sit down and make jewelry during that time. So when somebody would throw my mind off, if they were able to sneak through the cracks and get me off course for a minute, let me sit down at the table. and just do something with my hands. Let me focus my attention on these beads. And I personally like to do them one by one. I'm not using no tools. I'm not doing any of that. I'm doing one by one. Or I'm using my tweezers like with these. Like they have little different devices that you can use that'll put a whole lot of these on there one. Nope, I put one bead at a time. That allowed me to start calming down. I started finding other tools and other ways to be able to calm down. And it all started with me having boundaries. And what people don't understand, stress is a silent killer. Stress will take you out of here if you allow it. So you have to be mindful of what you are allowing to come into your space and come into your mind and to distract you from what it is that God has called you to do. You can't even walk in your purpose because you're so busy trying to figure out somebody else's purpose. Your goal in your mind is that if I get to this point, then I'll be able to do this for them. Did God tell you to do that? Because you may be trying to save somebody that God is still trying, he's still trying to build, he's still trying to work on. They have their own journey. And it's time that you focus on your journey for just a little while and see where God can take you. And the only way we're going to get there is by setting healthy boundaries in our lives. And also, this is another point that was brought to my attention some years back, and a therapist told me, you have to learn to love them a different way. Just because you're not giving them and not financially providing for them does not mean that you love them any less. Our relationships with people should not be transactional. Our relationship with God is not transactional. God shows us how to operate in relationships. So when you strengthen that relationship with Him and you grow in His Word and you start to become more like Jesus, you learn how to be in healthy relationships, because I used to get relationships all wrong. I've noticed that a lot of things that I was doing it because I feared that person and I was made to do it. This is what I'm supposed to do. There's a difference between honor and obedience. And at my great big age, at almost 40, only one that I'm going to be obedient to is God and to the will of God. So if there's anything that someone in your life is trying to get you to do that falls out of the alignment with the will of God, it's a no. And no is a complete sentence. And it is okay for you to have that boundary and still respect them and honor them. And don't allow anyone to tell you any different. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I did put a note in here also about giving ourselves grace, because a lot of times I would get mad at myself like I wasn't able to do this or this and I fell off with this. I had to learn to give myself grace. We give other people grace that don't even deserve. But we fail sometimes, so many times, to give ourselves grace. Give yourself grace and set healthy boundaries in your life and deepen your relationship with Christ and allow God to orchestrate the path that you should be on. When someone comes to you and asks you for something or asks you to do something, ask God. Is this something that you want me to do? Because I don't ever want to be out of error with Him. Because I've came so far from where I was to where I am now. And I'm not going to allow anyone or anything to take me off course. So I have to be sure that anything that I am doing for myself and for others is in alignment with the will of God. If there's a rush, if they're trying to rush you to give them an answer, it's a no. If I haven't had time to speak with God, it's a no. And that's a full statement. And that is a boundary that you can hold firm to. Do not backpedal on that. Once we set boundaries, we have to hold firm to them. Because if you go loose on it one time and you allow them to get through, then they're going to know they can still do what they've been doing. Show people how to treat you by setting healthy boundaries. So thank you so much for watching this video. If this is information that you would like to hear in the future, follow my TikTok, subscribe to this channel, like this video so more people can see it, share it with someone that may need to hear this information, and I'll see you in next week's video. Be blessed.